how do you differentiate between assuming the sale and temp checking?
What do you mean by temp checking? I think that means different things to different people.
Okay, great, great. I've seen in multiple different ways as I study sales and everyone else's thing. It's like sometimes they'll assume the sale as a temp check just to see where a prospect is at and how they're feeling, and so they'll call it a temp check, but they're really just assuming the sale.
Well, what I would do instead, because I would want to neutralize that, so I wouldn't want to trigger any sales resistance. So I would ask what are called checking for agreement questions.
Okay.
Oh, and I go through something. What are your thoughts on that, Joan? Or are you with me on that?
Hmm.
Or do you see how that might work for you in this area? So those are called more checking for agreement questions that give like you that help you monitor the pulse of where that conversation's going. And it
Yeah.
doesn't trigger any sales resistance. When I say assuming the sale, it's like you're getting towards the end of the conversation and you're like, okay, do you want to put this on Visa or MasterCard? And you haven't even asked them if they felt it, do you feel like
Yeah.
this is the answer for it? Do you feel like this is going to get you where you're wanting to go? You just come out like, you just go through your presentation. And at the end, you're like, it's going to be $9,500. All right, do you want to put it on Visa or MasterCard? Now, you'll make some sales with that because that person was already sold before you asked that silly question.
Right.
But for the people who are on the fence, that's just going to trigger resistance. And you're going to lose a lot of those that you could have made. It just triggers them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to be
Yeah.
careful with that. That's what I mean by assuming the sale. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying at the end of that, if I say, okay, do you feel like this could be the answer for you? I ask what are called a commitment question. Like, yeah, I do. Oh, okay, but hold on. Why do you feel like it is? Well, I feel like it's because of this, because of that, because of this. I mean, do you feel like this is something you can do to really get you where you're wanting to go? Oh, my, yeah, I do because of this. And then you can go into payment details and stuff
Right.
like that. But you've already asked their permission. If you just go right into it without asking permission, it's going to trigger resistance from the people who are still on the fence.